Hi, this is Sean Henricksen here at the Sean Henricksen Law Firm, where we help good people like you avoid the devastating consequences of criminal charges. Today, we're going to be talking about what happens if you miss your court date. Before we get to that, I do have a free download for you. It's 5 things you should be doing right now if you've been arrested. You can click down in the description below. There's a link, and we will send that right out to you. So, what does happen if you miss court? If you miss court on a date that you're supposed to be there, there's actually a string of things that could happen, none of which are very good. The first of those is that the judge will issue a warrant for your arrest if you don't show up to court when you're supposed to. That means that if you get pulled over later on or anything else, then you're going to end up being arrested, which is obviously not a good thing. The next thing that could happen is that your bail bondsman will likely start to get off your bond if that warrant is there for long enough, if you don't show up to court quickly enough after that. Your bail bondsman job is to make sure that you show up to court. If you don't show up to court, they could lose out on potentially a lot of money. And so if they think you are not going to show up to court, or if you didn't show up to court, they're going to try and get off your bond as quickly as possible so that they don't lose out on that money. The third thing that could happen to you doesn't happen so much here in San Antonio, but I have seen it happen in other counties, is that the district attorney's office could file a charge against you for failing to appear on a court date when you were supposed to be there. And that may be easy for them to prove up, and so that could be something that you definitely don't want to have happen. So what should you do? First off, if you find out before your court date or even the morning of your court date, talk with your attorney as quickly as you can. If you've got a reason you're not going to be able to be in court, say it's a medical emergency or maybe there's a funeral going on, you couldn't get off work. If you have something going on that means that you're not going to be able to be to court and you find out, beforehand, let's say a couple days beforehand, talk with your attorney and see if they can get your court date reset. Get it reset to a time that's going to be better for you so that it doesn't have that same scheduling conflict. And you may be able to do that depending on the judge without much of a problem. And that way you don't have to worry about all of those other consequences happening with warrants going out and everything else. If you don't know beforehand, but let's say you find out later that you had court, you just didn't have it on your calendar for whatever reason or whatever other reason you may have missed court. Again, call your defense attorney and let them know what happened and see what they recommend. In a lot of cases, let's say that you realize that you're supposed to be in court this morning. A warrant may go out for you that day, or some judges are going to hold off a couple days before issuing that warrant. And so you may be able to show up to court the next day and, just let the judge know what happened or have your attorney explain to the judge what happened. And you may be able to prevent all of those other things from happening and prevent that warrant from going out for your arrest. So it's important to have that communication with your attorney to see what they can do to help you avoid having a warrant go out for your arrest. And lastly, just make sure that you make it a priority to show up to your court dates and show up on time. When you get those reset dates or have any court date, make sure you put it in your calendar and make sure there's a reminder. As a defense attorney, I always call my clients beforehand to make sure they know about their court date coming up so that they don't forget about it, so that we don't have these issues. If you have any questions about what happens if you miss a court date or what you can do if you did miss a court date, feel free to give me a call, or if you're being charged with a crime here in San Antonio, again, feel free to set up that free consultation. Our phone number is 210-942-4997, or you can click, there's a link down in the description below. You can just click on that link to directly schedule a consultation with us without having to call. And we look forward to talking with you soon. Have a great day.